Hello everybody, and tonight's show is a little shorter than most of the shows that we do. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this is another reaction. I'm thinking that a lot more of our shows here in the future are gonna be more towards the reactionary types. This one might seem a little bit more sensitive to our organization on the pure fact that who we're reacting to is, well, one of our friends' mothers. Now, this we didn't poll ourselves. It actually got sent to us in our sentusainfo@gmail.com. It got sent to our email. We received it, and it's only like 2 minutes of the thing. Actually cut a little shorter than that. That way it doesn't cut off any of the person's words. We didn't get the full link from the person. Anyways, you can get 10% off your next Dubby purchase. Dubby.gg. It's energy drink, but it's a healthy substitute for like Mountain Dew, Bang, Rain, all that stuff. Get 10% off your next purchase by using the code at Dubby.gg. Clouds the Pod. All capital letters, and it's Clouds with a Z. Clouds the Pod. Alright? And anyways, let's get started. We're reacting to a Democrat who's blaming the Republicans for everything, and also happens to claim that the way the government has treated us. The funny part about that is the government shutdown was created by this person's own party. Fair warning, this is a very radicalized liberal. And I'm not saying that for clicks, for views, for fandom, for stardom, any of that kind of stuff. When you see the video as we react to it, you're going to understand that this person is extremely radicalized to the left. And it's absolutely appalling what she says. Without further ado, here's the reaction.
I want to say something, and I want to say it, and I'm not going to hold back. I think it really sickens me that our government is treating people the way they are.
You mean the government that your party shut down, right? It always amazes me how these liberals come up with these things and say this stuff and don't think before they speak. I blame the government for the way they treat me. The government that got shut down by my party, but that's not the point.
My daughter works her ass off. She works to the bone. She has a 7-month-old. She has a 2-year-old.
This is another thing that they do, which is searching for your sympathy. They want you to feel bad for them now because they have children. Well, here's a thought. If she's working her ass off so much to the bone like you say she is, then how is she not earning enough to feed her children? I would like to put out there, I work my ass off. I do all sorts of things at the job that I work at. And I don't make a wage that is big enough right now to own my own place. I'm still paying off car payments every single paycheck. Instead of paying monthly, I'm paying every 2 weeks to pay this car off. The car payments started at $20,000. And for the past months, since May of 2025, earlier in this year, I've been paying $500 every 2 weeks to pay off 20 grand. Sometimes a little bit more if I can squeeze that much out. I still have to live with family because I can't afford a place. But you don't see me out here with a full-time job begging for benefits and complaining that there's no benefits for myself. Yeah, it sucks. You're right. But I work my ass off and I'm still able to pay off bills. I have overdue bills. I have to pay for a website that I have up and running. I have to pay for all sorts of stuff that I have going. Just to be able to afford for this organization, I have to pay just to get money coming in. I understand the 2 kids. Okay, that's approximately 60 to 90,000 for 2 kids in a year, almost 100 grand every year. I get that, but maybe, just maybe, you don't need a ton of free food for your kids. She lives, right, in a home or something. So let me ask you this. How is it that she is living either in a home or an apartment, wherever she might live? I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. And can afford that, but can't afford for 2 kids. It doesn't make sense. This isn't adding up. You're digging deep for sympathy from your fans, from other supporters on your Facebook? Where are you going with this? Because to me, it just seems like maybe she needs another job. My mother had to work multiple jobs. My father had to work multiple jobs at one point too, just to get to where he is as a doctor. My mother was a registered nurse, but she had to work doubles sometimes. She had to work double shifts. She had to fill sometimes triple shifts to afford for the kids or get a second job. I mean, there are options out there. Why do you need SNAP benefits? Because as far as I'm concerned, if she's working her ass off and has a full-time job, right? The government can't even assist her in full pay for those 2 children in the first place because she works a full-time job.
She pays her taxes. Over $100-something every time she gets paid in taxes.
Holy shit, only over $100-something? Damn, she's getting off lucky. Do you understand how lucky she is? Only over $100-something in the 100 area? She's getting off lucky. She's luckier than half of us Americans out there who are trying to get by and are hoping that we don't have to owe taxes to the IRS come season time.
She pays it into the government for them to cut her stamps off that supports her and her children after her car payment, her insurance. Now she has to choose between paying her insurance and trying to find food for her children.
So either A, you didn't raise your child right to learn how to get a job. B, she got a non-sequential college degree, not a STEM or something in the medical field like I'm doing, like psychology or something like that, or doctor or nursing or medical aiding or something like that, right? Or just maybe she's not realizing that her own party shut down the government. It seems like you're aiming this at us Republicans. It seems like you're blaming us for these things. You pay to the government, right? And now you're saying, and for the government to shut down? Guess who shut down the government? Your own freaking party.
This is not America. This is where the rich can sit down and eat their steak, and the American people have to sit down and hope to God they can get a piece of bologna.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If this isn't America, then get the fuck out of America. If you don't like the country you live in and the freedom we still have and everything we still got despite what's going on politically, then get out of our country. Move. I'll help you pack your bags. Tell me where, when, and what time. I'll help you move. But don't say this isn't America and act all belligerent towards rich people, because I don't know if you know, but these tariffs are also affecting the rich too, which you Democrats can't seem to get through your heads, which is why a lot of these famous people move out of the country, because it's affecting them and they feel like I'll be better off in another country, and they move to a country of even worse situations and oppression after they complain about oppression here. So if you don't like America, you can go.
And what the hell is wrong with you people? When did it come this bad that you cannot even care what happens to the American people? What, let them starve to death?
No, we care. We definitely care. Here's what happened. Your party is what happened. All of this, all of these issues you're complaining about is because of you Democrats. It's because you shut down the government. And when we came to a vote, it went 14-14. And hey, surprise, the Democrats voted 14 no's. And then we just had a Republican senator who was literally on the White House steps in a courtroom area and literally stating, like, how dare you remove the SNAP and EBT? It wasn't us. I don't know if you saw earlier in the week here, but President Trump, before he got on his jet and everything, he stood at the foot of his steps of his jet and literally stated, I don't want SNAP and EBT program to be completely removed. But the Democrats need to come to an agreement with us. This is all on you. This isn't on us. So don't start being like, so they could starve? Then get a job.
And you've got these young women, bless their heart, some that don't even know how to cook.
And the fact you don't see that as an issue is alarming to me. And plenty of us Republicans say the same thing. I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, how healthy living was, the woman would stay at home and cook and clean and take care of the children while the men went off to work, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this, but maybe we should go back to a point earlier on where I said you didn't raise your child right. How is it that your child, a woman, doesn't know how to cook and clean and take care of her children? Maybe that's why she's begging for benefits? Sorry, not sorry, but that seems kind of alarming to me.
And then this is sad. This is an authoritarian, and I'm so pissed right now.
I'm sorry. Authoritarian? That's what socialists do. That's what communists do. That's at the expense of freedom, holding a strict and no free will government. Last I checked, we still have our amendments, our Constitution, which consists of the amendments, and our civil rights. Authoritarian, we wouldn't have any of that. Let me guess, you were one of the No Kings protesters, weren't you? Authoritarian, my ass. You have the freedom to speak like this as much as I do about this. Man, you know what authoritarian reminds me of? How about you Democrats? You shut the government down. How many more times do I have to say that? So that you could pay a bunch of money to third world countries that we previously had wars with. And so that you could take over all these House and Senate seats and all these district courts and everything. Authoritarian? We were in debt to China under the Democratic presidencies. And we kept paying money to other countries. You took down the wall that we built. You took down the pipeline that we built. You allowed a bunch of illegals into our cities. And then people would get murdered and there was no penalty for it. There were also people eating cats in the state of Ohio who were from a different country and here illegally. And your president did nothing about it. But we're authoritarians. Seems like the socialist democracy, whatever the fuck you guys call it, comes from y'all, not from us. From where we're sitting, we're looking at y'all, and y'all laughed at Charlie Kirk's death. You laughed at somebody who spoke on the freedom of speech, who exposed the radical and critical race theories, who exposed your party for the wrongdoings that they had. You had a VP in there who had no credentials and failed as an AG in the state of California and was supposed to be the border Caesar and sat there and said, "Come on in, illegals. You can pass go and collect $200 all you want. We're just going to ship you on trains to all of these cities." You guys were okay with that until they started rioting in your streets and destroying your cities. And then you were like, we don't like this now. And you know what Trump said when he got into office? He said, if they don't want to remove him, fuck it. Let them sit there. Let them wallow in it for a while. And then when it got a little bit more destructive, he said, finally, all right, ICE raids. Your cities are so much safer now that all these illegals are gone. And now you're complaining about it again because they're gone. But yeah, our party's authoritarian. Got it.
I'm so angry that this government is treating the people the way they are.
What government? The non-existent one? Well, I mean, now it's existent because finally Democrats came to an agreement with the Republicans. Again, for the umpteenth time, the government was shut down by your party.
And don't even get me started on Bill Lee. You have every right, Bill Lee, to help your Tennesseans, but you choose not to. Just like these other states. You Republicans don't care about nobody but your damn selves. And I'm so sick of it.
No, sweetheart, we care about the American people. We care about the red, white, and blue. And you know, we try reasoning with your party, but it seems like every time we try, they shut down everything. And this time, they took it a step farther, shut down the government, paid a bunch of money to third world countries of oppression that don't like us at all, and possibly could have started another world war if they hadn't come to an agreement with us again. But hey, you don't pay attention to anything but CNN, who cuts off most of the stuff. You know, when President Trump got elected, it took them 13 to 14 minutes just to respond to the fact that he won Pennsylvania, the swing state. It took Fox News less than 3 seconds. The moment it happened, they reported it. But yeah, we're the problem. You have a good day.